Well, welcome to 2032 in building Michigan State. Before we get the season sim underway, we'll take a look at our early recruiting board. And it's no more or less aggressive than we've really gone after the past couple seasons. Pretty impressed with the leads that we have here early on. And now that we are officially a 4.5-star school, that of course gives us more hours to spend as well. So we're able to do a little bit more earlier on. Now, some of these guys down here at the bottom of the board, we're going to lose out on. We know that. But hopefully these gems here at the top commit relatively quickly, and then we can get as many of these other 4 stars and even some 3 stars here as the season progresses. For the first time in quite some time, the Michigan State Spartans have won week 1, 38-20 over Georgia Southern. I don't know why a 92 overall defense is allowing points of that that many points to Georgia Southern. But that's what just happened. Let's just hope that's not an omen as this season progresses. Recruiting remains all set. And in terms of our gems, we either lead or are very close to leading with every single one that we've targeted. So with no hours to spend, I don't really think that right now is the best time to kind of switch some stuff around. We're in some good shape when it comes to a lot of these other guys. In fact, even this 4-star wide receiver, Ben Vasquez, we aren't really doing all that much, but already inside the top 5. Well, I'll be damned. Michigan State is 2-0 and up to rank number 4 in the country after a 27-21 win over BYU. Wrapping up non-conference with FCS Midwest before we start Big Ten play with Washington. 5:45 p.m. What the fuck is that game time? Recruiting remains good, and we're actually pretty close to getting a commit here out of Cesar Galipo. A visit for Arkansas in week 9, but we're so far away from that happening. I'm not really worried. Anybody else nearing commitment? We're really close on getting Garrison into his top 3 with Auburn and Clemson, who hasn't even offered him, in the running. Waiting here on a lot of other players. Things are looking good here early. Now, Cesar Herrera might be going to Michigan. I don't think there's really any way to avoid that. But it is what it is. Especially if we land that 5-star at the top of our board, things are going to be, hopefully, very good for us. This is #1 player in the state of Indiana. 3rd at his position. Really liking that. Ooh. That is not the prettiest score line there with FCS Midwest. 33-14. We beat Georgia Southern by more. Well, actually, I don't know if that's true, but it's a pretty much the same game as we played with Georgia Southern. And yet, I don't know. I have a bad feeling about this season for just whatever reason. Aha! So it didn't pop up, but we do get a 5-star recruit really early. Cesar Galipo, 3rd best defensive end in this class. Looking pretty good on a commit here for Brooks Hill. Fairly good here on J.C. Smith at corner. Scott Carlton not named his top 3 yet. And actually, Joey Garrison, 4-star gem of a wide receiver. That's looking pretty good, too. So we do have 90 hours left to throw around here. And I think Dean Folk is going to be a good one to do that with. Now, we're going to have to back off some of this. And there we go. Dean Folk getting the full 80 hours. And hopefully with that, really gives us some separation between Arkansas and Ole Miss. Some other players we can focus on. These guys down here we're mostly pretty good on. Outside of maybe Stephen Carney here competing with Michigan. Got 50 hours to spend on him, so you know what? We're just going to do it. Another big week for recruiting. Jeff Hackett tight end commits. That's a 4-star gem. As well as middle linebacker Brooks Hill. Another commitment. We also get Joey Garrison. So we've already locked up 4 of the players out of these 7 up here at the top of the board that we really, really wanted. We're looking good here on Ziemba. Looking pretty good on Charlton right now. And it is so close with Michigan for J.C. Smith, but I do believe that we get him. We can actually rework this a little bit so we can get him a little bit more action than he's been getting. That's bad math. That's very, very bad math. Let's head in there, do that, and now he can get as much as he wants. So we're actually just going to go through and do this for all of these players. At least these gems that have yet to sign. This is shaping up to be the class that could be the one that finally gives us our first top 5. So there's those guys. We got some action in on Volk. 5-star receiver in Snowden. Let's start descending the house on him. And in fact, I might even give him 60. A 5-star tight end in George Hogue. Sure, don't mind if I do. Shelley, that's another 5-star. And a 5-star... This is the... Wait. The number 4 player nationally is not getting any interest at all. What are we doing here? Do we have his interest unlocked? No, only 2 of them. So go in, drop the 65 on him. Carney, that's another 5-star. Tight battle with Michigan. He's pretty much maxed out. Sampson. Get him to 50. Probably just gonna send the house on him. Then Sneed. Sneed to be a nice player to have. We haven't really recruited power backs that much. So let's do some more to try and get him over here. Duarte. An elusive back. We need running backs in a bad way all of a sudden. Let's do that. And then we'll spend 10 here on Vasquez. And 10 on Deontay Arma. We can get Cesar Herrera off the board. We kind of expected he was going to go to Michigan. And then Deontay Shaughnessy went to Pitt. And I didn't notice. What about the bottom of our board? Somehow, these 3-stars have kind of hung around. Shockingly enough. And we actually lead on the kicker, Chubb. The corner, and Ripien. Cole. Down on Honeycutt, but we have better tight ends that we're looking to get. Clay Stacy, same deal when it comes to wide receivers. And then the safety and Eric Dutton, we have somehow made the top 5. We should focus on Dutton because he is a 4-star. Yeah, that's the kind of loss you've just come to expect from the Michigan State Spartans. 35-14. Michigan State down to Washington. And we play undefeated Northwestern. As Michigan State falls to 13th in the rankings. Ooh, J.C. Smith goes to Michigan. I really didn't expect that to happen. That's unfortunate. And then Charlton and Ziemba are still lurking around. There's a chance Michigan gets both of these players. But if we can beat out our rival in big recruiting battles, that's going to be really good. We still have a chance to get 6 of those gems on this roster. Big lead on Folk now. Small lead on Snowden. Nobody's really worried about George Hogue. Devontae Sneed also went to Michigan. Michigan is kind of right with us there, recruiting-wise this year. So let's actually run through these 3-stars a little bit. Get some action going on them. Because I think once the interest starts building, it's not going to be that long until they commit. So we're just going to do what we can. That's actually going to leave Dutton, of all players, untargeted here. So let's take these points off of Clay Stacy and put those on to Dutton. Hopefully we get some more commits here next week so we can really go all in on him, even though it's probably not going to work out that well. Actually got Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week, senior linebacker Chad Mixon with 3 sacks, 10 total tackles in the game. That might win National Defensive Player of the Week. Recruiting! We got Charlton, but Ziemba does go to Michigan. Those tight battles, Michigan's coming out pretty much 50-50 with us right now. So we got 5 of the 7 gems that we targeted. We should get Dean Volk unless he just hangs on long enough for Arkansas to get into this. Snowden's looking good. Nobody's interested here on Hogue. Or Shelley, for that matter. Stephen Carney goes to Michigan. Sampson, very early on. We should really put more hours into Sampson. So let's max him out. Duarte. Oh, nope, don't have enough for that. Let's just spread the wealth here, especially with the 4 stars. Do everything that we can. Boyce. Oh, we're going to miss out on Boyce. That's unfortunate. At least most likely. Outside of any Hail Mary that we can throw at him here. Really should probably just let him go, but... Tight battle here with Georgia. For Idoga at defensive tackle. Yes, I am recruiting an Ebron. Probably a mistake. But we're actually in a tight battle with Oregon here. Oregon, who we play this week. All the hours we're sending at him and a Michigan State win could really do wonders in this recruiting battle. Mines, probably going to lose him to West Virginia. However, it's not going to stop us from trying. 20 hours left. Going to miss out on Ryzen. And then we get into the 3 stars. So, oh, well, we actually got locked out on Dutton. We didn't do enough. So I guess it's going to be Clay Stacy that gets 10, and then we want this kicker and Amari Chubb, specifically because we go into his scouting. 92 kick power, and kick accuracy is at 97, but we can work on that. 92 kick power would be a really nice thing to have. Wow, 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 wow. 48-13. Oregon killed us. Once again, the best team that we've ever had is letting their chances of making the college football playoff slip away. Because I think to even have a chance right now, we have to win out. We are 3 games into Big Ten play. We've lost 2 of them. Oh, we did get Dean Folks, so a 5-star quarterback coming to Michigan State. Scrambler. We'll see how good he really, truly is. Into his scouting, I was curious on his speed. 84, it's not great, but he's got some good mental abilities there. Actually, good abilities in general, so hoping that means good things. Christian Snowden. Still very early. I think we can afford to give him another 5 hours here. We got a bunch of hours this week, which I don't know if that's good or bad. I guess we shall see. We're going to get George Hogue, even after this little late push here from Ohio State. As long as they don't have a visit, which they don't, there's just no way that they can make up that kind of gap in 1 week. Shelley, we're already spending as many as we can. Julius Sampson, not looking very good, but you never know. Duarte, Duarte, doing what we can, and Ohio State, not really much of a factor. They're in his top 3, as well as Alabama, but they just don't have interest in him. I'm also really confused as to why we're losing players to Kentucky. Both Ben Vasquez and Doug Boyce go to Kentucky. That's an interesting one. And one of those players, at least one of those players, was a Michigan, or at least called Michigan home. Deontay Arma locks this out. That's 20 targets. Saquon Ebron goes to Alabama. Warren Mines to West Virginia. Steve Ryzen to Michigan. And we're getting down here at the bottom of the board where you can really start to see the effect of aiming at those players at the top and not putting any hours into the guys at the bottom. But we got the guys we wanted for the most part. And if it means missing out on some of the other players, it is what it is. So, let's take this 10 off of Amari Chubb. Number 10 kicker in this class, however, liked what we saw in the scouting, especially with that kick power, and the accuracy, hopefully, will develop. Gonna do everything that we can here. Whoop. Can't spend 75. We can only spend 70. So 65 for 3-star wide receiver Antonio Cole. Honeycutt. Give him 15 there. 25 goes away. And the 50 comes in. And we still got a bunch of hours here. This might be a good week to kind of go through and see if there's any players kind of lingering around the prospect list. Because we are still early enough in the season for that. Alright, so not quite going to be able to send the house on all these players. We're going to send it on 2 of them. Most importantly, I think, Teague and Kiernan. 25 on Tim Crisp. And I guess 15 here on Mike Peterson. So we'll actually send 5 extra here on Amir Kiernan. Chad Mixon wins his second Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week award here in 2032. Only 1 sack this time around, but I mean, this guy's been our best defender for about the last 3 seasons, so none of this comes as a surprise. 10-point win over UCLA. Now we've got Nebraska, who sits at 3-4. Illinois at 2-5. Michigan, who did just lose, they sit at 5-2, number 10 in the country. Wisconsin with a losing record, and Rutgers. There is a path. It's a very difficult path to get to the Big Ten title game from here. But I think it's possible. You just can't afford to slip up in any of these other games with the 5 remaining, and you got to beat Michigan. You have to beat Michigan. Well, that is just about going to put our dreams of making the college football playoff out of reach. We have played 5 Big Ten games. We've lost 3 of them. We've only beaten UCLA and Northwestern. Oh, my God. And all 3 of our losses have come at home. We're boned. The only way we sneak even close to the top 25 is win out, beat Michigan, then you have a chance. You lose another game and you're done. Snowden is still not committing to us. It just feels like we're not making any progress. And you wonder if it's because of our performance on the field. Dude, I don't know. Now, granted, we did just try and sway him on things that were not interests of his. So I think we're going to pivot back to what we were trying to do earlier. Shelley. I mean, dude, come on. Just commit already. Auburn ain't catching up to that. Mari Chubb, pretty close. Ripien, no worries at the moment. Antonio Cole does commit to Michigan, although I think that already happened. We're going to miss out on Leon Honeycutt, the 3-star tight end, to Bowling fucking Green of all teams. Clay Stacy looking pretty good for the moment. We're actually trailing Auburn and Tennessee on Tim Crisp. Amir Kiernan, he's going to go to Oregon. And Mike Peterson looking like he's going to go to Ole Miss. Dude, we can't do anything right in recruiting this year. Well, we beat Illinois to get back into the top 25. This is the game. You can't lose this one. At Michigan, number 21 versus number 6. Our season is already on life support. It comes down to this game. You lose this game, you can forget the playoff entirely. But if you beat the number 6 team in the country, you might have a chance. Well, time for more disappointment when it comes to recruiting. Christian Snowden goes to Clemson. Kind of felt like that was going to happen. But then the rest of the board, that's some encouraging stuff. Amir Kiernan goes to Oregon, which puts us down to 16 targets, which means this is probably a good week to fill up our board with more players. As we take a look at top classes, Michigan State is currently 5th. If we could get another couple players to really drive that up, almost guarantee it, that would certainly be nice. This team has found a way to do it again. 91 overall team. We are 6-4, 12th in the Big Ten, and we are not going to the college football playoffs by any stretch of the imagination. No way a win over 3-7 Wisconsin and 6-4 Rutgers is going to get you there. We have lost every single one of our big games. Every single one. This is insane. We haven't lost out on any recruiting battles yet. Clay Stacy's really close. Probably going to lose out on Tim Crisp. Probably going to lose out on Mike Peterson, but these are things that we've known. I don't care about your offensive player of the week. A 92 overall defense just let up 41 points. Yeah, put us out of our misery. There, recruiting's done, at least until we get the portal open. Senior quarterback at a USC, a team that we didn't even have to play this year. Not even 4,000 yards, but 44 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. And our bowl destination, the Independence Bowl. The Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. This dynasty is testing me more than building CMU ever did, because we built a good team. We cannot, for the life of us,